Stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, filled with devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought, a touchdown mind. Out of the box every time. No limits, no chains, no walls to climb. We're rewriting the rules in real time. Out of the box where the wild ones play.
Good morning, Raider Nation. Welcome to the Silver and Black Lair Raiders Edition. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. Tuesday, Blues Day in the house, as the great Coach Keating used to say. Tuesday, Blues Day. Today's Tuesday, Blues Day episode of the Silver and Black Lair is brought to you by Jason Fine, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jason Fine specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and falls, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. He has 3 office locations conveniently located throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. His office in New Jersey is located in the very fine, very metropolitan Cherry Hill, New Jersey, on 3 Greensward Lane. The phone number there is 856-209-5258. He has 2 offices located in Pennsylvania, one on the east side and one on the west side. The one on the eastern part of Pennsylvania is in Philly on 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And the phone number there is 267-888-2980. And on the west side of Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh, located at 500 Grand Street, Suite 2900. The phone number there is 412-365-8151. That's Jason Fine, my friend, your friend, everybody's friend, attorney Big Al. Be sure to let Big Al know that you're a part of the Out of the Box Sports family, and he'll hook you up with a great deal. So there you go. All right, let's get this show on the road. Another embarrassing loss for the Raiders, for the Silver and Black, this past Sunday at home against the Browns. We are the Browns now. That's just what it is. I've said it before on the show. I feel like we are the Browns, just destined to continue for decades upon decades of this filth, this wallowing in our own filth here, this debauchery that we call football. It's absolutely awful. I have a hard time seeing an end to it anymore. I really do. Week in and week out, I expect the Raiders to suck ass now, and it pisses me off to no end. I don't even know where to go from there. I mean, it's terrible. It is absolutely disgusting to watch this team. And you know what? Chip Kelly gets fired after the game. We a lot of Raider Nation was clamoring for it, and it happened. Was I happy to see Chip Kelly fired? Sure. Either way, I didn't think he was going to make it through the offseason anyway. To be honest with you, I thought maybe Chip Kelly wanted to be fired, to be honest with you. Maybe he and Pete Carroll weren't seeing eye to eye. Maybe he saw some college opportunities that, maybe he thought were more intriguing than being the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders. He wants to be the head guy. Potentially LSU. Was it Florida? I think might be looking for a football coach. Wherever Lane Kiffin's meandering around down there in the South. Possibly Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin leaves. Penn State. Who knows what's happening with Penn State there? I mean, a myriad of different opportunities for offensive mastermind in college football, Chip Kelly. It obviously does not work in the pros. When they hired him, I wasn't overly ecstatic. I seen what he did in Philly. I didn't follow him too much when he was in San Francisco. But Philly, I'm in Pennsylvania, so Eastern Pennsylvania, And so I saw a lot of Eagles game, and I'm surrounded by a lot of Eagles fans and whatnot. So I know their thoughts and opinions on Chip Kelly. I knew what it was like when Chip Kelly was the coach for the Eagles. It wasn't all that great. So I didn't exactly have high hopes for Chip Kelly. I'm like, well, maybe, yeah. The whole thought was, well, he's not the head coach. He's not running the show. He's an offensive coordinator, and he can focus just on the offense. And that was trash, absolute trash, garbage. Uh, for most of the time, it was unbalanced, heavy to the pass. And you hear all this stuff. Chip Kelly's offense needs a good run game in order to work, and you can't get a good run game if you don't run a damn ball, right? You draft a running back at 6 or 7, whatever it was, 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly what the pick was, but it was an early pick, right? You draft a stud running back, and we don't give him the ball half the time. I mean, it's insane. It's insanity, and it starts off by the making him change his stance. Like when it started off there, it should have been a warning to Raider Nation. When they have Ashton Genty, they don't want him standing up doing his Michael Myers stance, which he did throughout his college career. They want him to, hands on the knees, kind of hunched over. Why? For what? What do you get out of that? What do you gain out of that? If that's how the guy ran, let him run like that. It's like they want, whether it's Chip Kelly or it was Pete Carroll, I don't know. I think it was Chip Kelly. I don't know. Yeah, they wanted him to conform. They wanted conformity. We hold the power kind of thing. It's nonsense, nonsensical, BS. The same thing with JPJ not playing center. Putting Jordan Meredith there, and the comment, I think it was by Chip. I'm not sure who it was by, but saying like, well, he has that same body type as Jason Kelsey. What the hell does that even mean? Like, that doesn't mean he's Jason Kelsey. It doesn't mean, oh, well, he looks like Jason Kelsey, so maybe he's as good as Jason. He's a center because he looks like Jason Kelsey. That's the dumbest shit ass thing I ever heard. It doesn't even make any sense. And then to stick with it, to continue with it when JPJ was healthy, continually put him at guard, benching him and all that stuff. It didn't make sense. Watching Jordan Meredith week in and week out getting blown up at center, trying to figure things out, missed calls, the lack of communication along the front. Was that Chip Kelly? Was that Pete Carroll? Was that Pete Carroll's kid, Brendan Carroll, who's your offensive line coach? And I'm pretty sure that's something he's never done before. He's never coached before. I mean, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me at all. A lot of the moves from the very beginning, and then it rolled right into this freaking game. And last week when they had Putnam, it was like a slap in the face when they had Putnam starting at center and they moved Meredith to guard. What? The week before they had Putnam playing guard and Meredith at center. What? What the hell are we doing? They said they felt like Jordan Meredith gave them the best chance to win at center all year. And then when JPJ's hurt and there's an opportunity for Putnam to get in, there was another injury. I think it might have been Parm went out the same game. So Putnam came in at guard. Then the next week you put Putnam at center. I thought Meredith was the best center on your team. Why would you move him out of that spot? It doesn't make sense. So then you roll into this game again. Putnam at center. Meredith at guard. Putnam gets benched. And they don't move Meredith to center. They put Alex Kappa at center. Alex Kappa! He said he's played center one time in his career for, I think he said, one series in one preseason game. You got to be shitting me. Really? Got a comment here on the old YouTube from Kathy Oster. 6'7", 6'7". You're right. There it is. You caught it. I didn't know if anybody was going to catch it. My little guy, I have a 7-year-old, and he's still pretty well into that 6'7" stuff. My older kids, my 2 daughters, you kind of see it starting to fade away, which is awesome. That's good. It was starting to get old quick. But anyway, thanks for checking the show out, Kathy. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the comment as well. Share it out, to all your friends and neighbors and family too. Gather around Thanksgiving table today. Say, hey, check this out. All right. But anyway, uh, 4141. I don't know what that is. Hopefully that's not a new number thing, like 6-7. Dear Lord. But anyway, so yeah, so they put Kappa, and he hasn't played center. Played center once in one preseason game in his rookie year. How does that even register to put him at center? He's been practicing there lately, all season, all season. You had Merritt there because he gave you the best chance to win, and now JPJ is not available. Kappa's a guard. Oh, let's move Meredith to guard and put Kappa at center. What? What? Kathy says 4141 or 41. I don't know if it's, I guess it's 4141 is a new 6-7. Cripes. That's not good at all. At least 6-7 kind of made sense, because it was one after another. 4-1, 4-1. I don't know. So like it's, spank me in the ass and call me a jealous. I don't understand what the hell's going on. Like who's making these decisions? Who's making these changes on the offensive line and thinking it makes sense? Like even like some moron like myself, a gas bag like myself, can see that it doesn't even make any sense, and it didn't go good at all. I think everybody across the offensive line now they had at least one penalty, and watching Stone Forsythe getting beaten like a drum by Myles Garrett, oh, that's not a lot of fun. And again, Myles Garrett is all world. I get it. But some of those sacks. I mean, there was the one sack that he had against Stone Forsythe, and I don't know. I'm not. I played high school football. That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? That's my expertise right there. But watching the technique that Stone Forsythe had on that one sack he gave up, the dude is leaning forward, lunging at Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett just tossed him out of the way, like he had no center, no a power stance, didn't have a good center gravity there. Like it's like he didn't have a wide base. Just he lunged at him and he got tossed aside like garbage. It was a shit show. It's absolute garbage. It's rush coming up the middle, coming from the outside. And you know what? And as much as I don't like Geno Smith, I've never liked Geno Smith. It wasn't all his fault this time. I would say, in my opinion, I'd say I give him a 50-50. I blame Geno Smith 50-50 for the pass game this past week. There's a 50-50 blame on Geno here. And if you don't know, you know. If you know, you know. Last week, Geno Smith had this, hilarious comical press conference after the shellacking we took from the Cowboys, where he, oh, blame me for this, blame me for that. Oh, your car breaks down, blame me. If your kids, suck ass at school, blame me, or whatever it was. And then he had a nice little smirk on his face, and he thinks it's funny when the Raiders are getting their asses spanked week in and week out. Offensively, he's getting his ass spanked. He looks ridiculous out there. Looks like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he thinks it's funny. He thinks he can go up there and make jokes or whatever. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. And but this week, just the rush, absolutely insane. But here's where I give him the 50-50. He 50% not his fault. The rush was in his face all game. The other 50%, there were times where he had time and he still took the goddamn sack. I what was that? I think I was watching. I don't know what. I think it was NBC or CBS. I don't know who. I think CBS is who carried the game. I was watching on what the hell is it called? Fobu or whatever the hell it is. Whatever app it is I have on my phone where you can stream it for free and stuff. It's just you have to keep backing out of it and getting it. It's a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. I do what I do to watch it without costing me an arm and a leg. But anyway, watching watching this, and they go to like, oh, they're showing Geno Smith doesn't have time, and they put a little clock on there, and the one play was up to 5 seconds and he got sacked, and they're like, well, we'll call that a coverage sack. I'm like, no shit, 5 seconds. And they showed another one. It was like I think 3.5, 4 seconds, somewhere around there. It's like that's more than enough time for him to get back and get rid of that ball. But he's not. He's taking the sacks. Fourth downs, fourth and fours. You can't take the sack at midfield. And he's taking a sack at midfield. Well, it pushes you back further into your own territory. Puts Browns in plus territory. It's complete asinine. Asinine. At least put it up for somebody. You throw a pick deep, It's fourth down. It's almost like a punt. Fine. You've thrown plenty of interceptions this season. It's not going to hurt your stats. Cowboy Dave checking in. What's up, Dave? How you doing, buddy? Big win by the boys this past week against the Eagles. The Eagles up 21-0. And the Cowboys came roaring back. Much improved defense. They look good against the Raiders, but everybody's defense looks good against the Raiders' offense. So there you go. Thanks for checking the show out, Dave. They're on the Facebook. So yeah, and defensively, I thought the Raiders didn't do terrible. Look at the score, 24-10. That's not all that great, but they held it close for a while. Browns a couple short touchdown runs by what's his name, Quinshawn Judkins. He had 16 carries, 47 yards. You look at Shador, he was 11 of 20, 209, one touchdown, one interception, only sacked one time. That's the part that I think hurts the most, is they were not able to get to Shador as much as needed. And I think it was some good play calling, some decent play calling for a young quarterback that maybe you don't trust all that much, in his first start. Some quick passes, moving him out of the pocket, stuff like that. The whole narrative of this game, though, is Shador Sanders, beat the Raiders. Shador Sanders didn't beat the Raiders. The Browns defense, you could say, beat the Raiders. Quinshawn Judkins beat the Raiders. Shador maybe had 2 or 3 decent plays. I would say one really good play early in the game. I don't remember if it was the first or second quarter, which led to I think it was the first touchdown by the Browns, which all your sports news networks continuously showed was him rolling out and throwing it deep to a wide open player. And I mean, as a quarterback at that level, that's a play you make. I don't understand. It was a beautiful pass. Again, not going to take too much away from it. It was a beautiful pass, but again, it wasn't exactly, a high degree of difficulty, for somebody at that level. So I didn't understand it. Of course, they didn't show the interception in the next series. I think it was the next series or 2 series later, where he threw it right to Charles Snowden. Great play by Snow. Just dropping back instead of rushing, kind of sitting in a pocket and recognizing. And I don't know if he read Shador's eyes or what have you, but Shador threw it right to him and he made the play. Normally, that's a play that would go off a Raiders defender's hands and falls incomplete, and then the team continues driving downfield. But you made the play. Excellent. But the one big play, Shador's touchdown pass, was just a screen pass, basically. You got to give credit to the guys out there blocking. Again, statistically, it all goes down as big numbers for just Shador there. Big touchdown pass, long touchdown pass, his first touchdown in the NFL. Am I wishing that we would have drafted Shador? No, not really. I mean, I didn't see anything that blew my top off here. If he was with the Raiders, this year, I'm not even saying he would be playing, but if he got in, he'd get murdered. He'd get killed. That offensive line would get him destroyed. I mean, it's yeah. So that's where we're at with that. But anyway, looking back at some stats, like I said, Shador 11 of 20, 209, one touchdown, one interception. Geno 30 for 44, threw the ball 44 damn times. And it's not like the game was out of hand. The game wasn't out of hand, but we weren't exactly running the ball that great. But maybe a couple more runs in there somewhere, keep them honest, but not happening. The team is just constantly getting back to our quarterback. After he's into his second or third step, and we just continuously drop back, drop back, drop back, drop back. It's asinine, completely asinine. Geno 30 of 44, 285, one touchdown, no interceptions, sacked 10 times. 10 goddamn times he was sacked. 10 times. 10. 10. 10 times. That's shameful. How Brendan Carroll still has a job is beyond me. His ass should have been fired when they put Jordan Meredith at center. And this completely falls on Spy Tech, Mark Davis. Mark Davis being the top guy. Spy Tech's your GM. If I'm Spy Tech and they were out there, well, we're going to put Jordan Meredith at center because he looks like Jason Kelsey. If I'm Spy Tech, I'm like, no, we're not. We're not doing that. Brendan Carroll, you're gone. And we're not doing that shit. It's stupid. It's stupid and nonsensical. Where your best center is playing guard and a guy that never played center is playing center. And not to do it once this season, but to do it twice is asinine. I don't want to use the R word, so I won't use the R word. But you know what I want to say. So, yeah. So where else do I want to go with this? Pete Carroll, I don't know if he survives after this season. He'll survive this season, but I don't know what happened. And I thought to myself, well, Pete will last at least 2 seasons. I even mentioned on here a couple of weeks ago, Pete will last at least 2 seasons. He has a 3-year contract with an option for a 4th, I believe. It said he'll last 2 seasons. The second season will all depend on what the team looks like. If they improve, then he'll go to the 3rd season. And then I don't see an option being picked up on him. I'd see a transition. And I really thought that Chip Kelly was actually brought in as the OC as that transitional guy, where it's going to transition from Pete to Chip Kelly. I 100% believe that. And I believe that was the original plan. I haven't heard that. I haven't seen anywhere where it said that's what the plan was. I've seen Chat Sports Raiders. What's his name? Shit, I watch him all the time. But anyway, yeah, I can't think of his name. It doesn't matter what his name is. The only name you need to know is my name, the Bat Fry. Raider Batman. But anyway, I say like 50 times. Where was I going with this? Oh, with the succession plan. That's what it seemed like to me. That was kind of logically what I see happening. Pete Carroll transitioning out. Chip Kelly transitioning the head coach. I wouldn't have been surprised if you would have saw Brendan Carroll transition to an offensive coordinator role. He was already the offensive line coach, running back coordinator. Next season, he would have probably got some sort of promotion if things would have went well this year. Something more offensively, like the offensive assistant or whatever. Learn under Chip Kelly for a year or 2, then be Chip Kelly's offensive coordinator. They collaborate. Well, ta-da, here we go. No, it's shit. Brendan Carroll should not have a job still. It doesn't make sense to me. They fired Tom McMahon because the special teams. They fired Chip Kelly now because the offense is just effing terrible. And they also fired Bob Bicknell, the offensive assistant. He should be gone as well. I don't know what the hell he did, but since he's an offensive assistant, he's gone. Anybody related to the offense, play calling, offensive game planning or strategy should be gone. Greg Olson takes over. He was named the OC. It's his 3rd stint as the Raider offensive coordinator back in like the 2012 season or maybe 2018 to 2021. I think he was the OC for the Raiders as well. So a very familiar face for the Raiders, and we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he brings. Hopefully he brings a little bit more balance so some creativity to a point. Just, get your hand, get the ball into the hands of your playmakers, and do it in smart ways. And sit Gino. Sit. So first off, uh, before I get too far into this part of it, we got a couple more comments here. Cowboy Dave checking in once again. It's a nice comeback for the boys. Anytime we can beat them pigeons, it works for me. Oh, the pigeons. Damn, Dave. It's like us Raiders fans calling the Broncos the donkeys or the ponies or whatever. We also have Chewy's Raider coverage checking in. I think that's how you say it. Chewy's. I think that might be it, but I could be wrong. Chewy's Raider coverage checking in from the YouTube says, "Don't get caught in the ring of fire." Brendan Carroll should have been with him. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Brendan Carroll, how he still lasted this long into the season screams nepotism. And I don't use big words like that, nepotism. But this just screams nepotism. I'm telling you what, if my son did a terrible job like that and he's working under me, I would have shit canned his ass a long time ago. So go cry to your mom. You're grounded. But anyway, it doesn't make sense how the lad has made it this far doing what he's doing, playing this game that he's playing. Jordan Meredith at center when your best center is playing guard. Jordan Meredith, I thought, did a very good job last season at guard as well. That's one part that shocks me so much of it. So the biggest part of it is like I felt like the Raiders' offensive line started getting to a decent flow last season with JPJ at center and Meredith at guard. It doesn't make sense. And then to bring Kappa in at center. You don't know how bad I want to punch the screen right now. Every time I say to bring Alex Kappa in at center, he sucks at guard. He's not a center. Ah, damn. Oh. Chewy's Raider coverage says, when Daddy's a coach, anything is possible. Absolutely, 100%. That's the only thing that makes sense. How he still has a job here. Any other team, that lad is gone. He's gone. He's living out of a refrigerator box somewhere. Chewy says, great show. I'm going to drop a sub. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it very much. And if you have a YouTube channel, I will check it out. It says that Chewy's Raider coverage. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can check that out and give you a follow as well. I appreciate it, buddy. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And it reminds me a lot of Billy Madison. Billy wants to take over the company, and his dad's like, Jesus Christ, he can't do this, and but he still gets a shot at it. That has to be Pete Carroll. It has to be. Like if Pete Carroll isn't thinking, what the is this guy doing? What's he doing? If Pete Carroll isn't thinking that at least once this season, the dude is lost. The dude is gone mentally. It had to have crossed his mind. I had to have. I don't know. Was this the 10-step plan, just like Billy Madison had to go through all the grades to take over the company? Was this the plan for Brendan Carroll to start at the offensive line kindergarten and then work his way up to like offensive coordinator, which would be like 10th or 11th grade or whatever, and then he'd graduate, as eventually a head coach years down the road? I don't know if that was the whole thing. Maybe Spytek and Mark Davis sat down and were watching Billy Madison. He's like, it'd be a cool idea. I don't know. Papernick checking in. What's up, Mike? What's up, Pap? Who is the new Raiders OC? Greg Olson, new old OC. It's his third stint as the Raiders offensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens here. I remember him being the Raiders OC, but I have such a poor memory. I feel like he did a decent job when he was the OC, and I think was it under Gruden? I think I don't remember. Was he the OC under Gruden? And then before that, I don't remember. But anyway, it's his third stint as the OC, and if I remember correctly, he did a decent job. Kimberly, hey, Aunt Kim, what's up? Yeah, I'm live. Here we go. She says, Ken Fry for OC. I don't know. I don't know about that. Um, when I play Madden, which I don't get a chance to play Madden at all anymore. But when I did many years ago, I called a lot of slants. I'd pound the ball up the middle and a lot of slants. The team never really caught on, but I didn't play on like the all pro level. I just played the pro level. I didn't play rookie. That's beneath me. But the next level up, I wasn't very good. Just like when I used to play Guitar Hero a lot, back in many moons ago when Guitar Hero on the Wii. That's right, the Wii. I played Guitar Hero and I couldn't get past the 3 buttons. That's the beginner. The 3 buttons. I could jam all day with 3 buttons. You had that fourth button, I was lost. That was it. Kim, thanks for checking the show out. I appreciate it very much. Pap says, wasn't Greg Olson in Buffalo? I don't know. I don't know where he was. He's with the Raiders this whole season so far, as the quarterbacks coach. So I'm not sure where he was before that. Like I said, I think he was with the Raiders from 18 to 21, and then before that, maybe like 2012. I don't remember exactly what it was, but maybe it was Buffalo. I don't know. Not really sure. So glad to see Chip Kelly going. And so I have one more plea for Mark Davis here. Mark Davis, I wanted to do this last week, but I never got a chance to get on here, get it live. Mark Davis, last week when Gino thought it was funny that we got our asses kicked against Cowboys, where he had that amusing press conference where blame Gino. Your kids suck at school. Your wife is cheating on you. Blame Gino. Your car breaks down. Blame Gino. The cat's humping the dog. The dog's humping the cat. Blame Gino. He's having an amusing press conference. He thinks it's funny when he gets his ass kicked. If I'm Mark Davis, I would have called Pete up and said, if you don't sit his ass down, you're gone, and he's gone with you. He will not start another game for this organization. But that didn't happen. Now, after this week, when he's leaving the field and he decides to not so discreetly flip the bird to Raider fans, Mark Davis, I'm telling you right now, dude. And I don't usually talk to Mark Davis. I defend Mark Davis a lot on here. The guy wants to win. He's not doing this for shits and giggles. He wants to win. He wants to carry on the Raider legacy. He wants the Raiders to get back to prominence. I do believe that 100%. I really do. But Mark Davis, if Geno Smith starts another damn game in the silver and black, you will lose a shit ton of fans. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. The disrespect for the fan base, that a long-suffering fan base, but the disregard that this man has shown to this fan base throughout the season, the lack of accountability he's taken, the asinine press conferences, flipping the bird to his own fans because he can't take the criticism. Get a life, you loser. What a jerk off that guy is. I tell you, I couldn't stand him before. I didn't like him when he was with the Jets, getting his ass kicked in the locker room. I didn't give two shits when he was in Seattle. Whatever that was, fine. Whatever. Then he comes here and he's newly signed, and then you see him on the sideline at a youth football game or youth football camp, whatever the hell it was. That's why they pay me the big bucks. That's, shouting out, that's why they pay me the big bucks. That's why they pay me the big bucks. N-word he used. I ain't using it. I don't want to get canceled. It's stuff like that. And that's our quarterback. That's our on-field CEO right there. Bullshit. You don't see one other quarterback in this league that's worth anything doing stupid shit like that. Stupidness. And then we proceed with this idiot. And week in and week out, he has regressed. He has shown a lack of accountability. Your quarterback's your leader. And week in and week out, he's been a total tool bag. And we allow this to continue week in and week out. I'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo back. And I didn't like Jimmy G out there getting STDs or whatever he's doing out there in the desert. This guy sucks ass, and he's a dickhead to go with it. And that's my 2 cents on that. Mark Davis, if I'm Mark Davis, his ass never starts another game for the Silver and Black. Just like they did to Derek Carr, I would send Gino's ass packing. Go home for the rest of the season, Gino. You're done. Vamonos. Peace. Kenny Pickett, Aiden O'Connell, your show. F Geno Smith. I want to say the F word really bad, but I'm not going to because this is a family show. I've used every other curse word, I believe, so far because I don't have a strong will. But I will not use the F word. I promise. Damn it, anyway. Dave says Chip should just stay in the college scene. Yeah. And that's why I said earlier in the show, Dave, I don't know if you caught it. Part of me was thinking a few weeks ago that Chip is just trying to do really shitty because he sees some pretty decent opportunities possibly on the horizon in college. But he's done so poorly, he'd be lucky to get a job at a Helen Keller School of the Blind or whatever. I don't know. He's done a really, really piss poor job here. Another curse word. Didn't use that one yet. My apologies for all the swearing, but I think most of you do understand where I'm coming from. The anger and just the fed up feeling I've had this season. We've been losing for a long time here, Raider Nation. We've been losing for a long time. This season stings. Probably the worst. To be 100% honest with you, this has to be the worst season. We suffered through Jamarcus Russell, Carson Palmer, Art Shell 2.0, all that stuff. McDaniels was better than this. And this is just, it's nonsense. Antonio Brown, we've gone through that. Randy Moss, we've gone through that. The Devontae Adams fiasco. The Derek Carr saga. And I love Derek Carr. I wish Derek Carr would stayed here, finished as a Raider. I'm still waiting for the Raiders to sign him so he can retire as a Raider. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. I don't know if there's some sort of rule for that or what. But this season is by far, in my opinion, the worst season for the Raiders that I can remember. I've been a fan since the late 80s, probably 88, 89, somewhere around there. And I don't remember a season being this bad. How the hell did we get 2 wins? Jesus, criminy. It doesn't even make any sense. I guess we had a whole offseason to get ready for the Patriots. I don't know if that's why, or the rain in New England. I don't know. But how bad are the Tennessee Titans that we beat the Tennessee Titans? And it was barely beat the Tennessee Titans. So, jumping Jehovah's Witness. I mean, where do you go from here? So looking at game stats here real quick. I don't even know why, because it just pisses me off even more. First downs, Raiders 19, Cleveland 11. Third down conversions, Raiders 4-17, Cleveland 3 of 12. Plays, the Raiders ran 75 plays, by far the most plays they've had this season. 75 plays, and they only managed to get 268 yards off of 75 damn plays. 48 plays for the Browns, 270 yards. They had more yards than the Raiders did in total. Both teams had 15 drives. Browns 5.6 yards per play. The Raiders 3.6 yards per play. Passing yards, Raiders 208, Cleveland 206. Yards per pass, Cleveland 9.8, Raiders 3.9. No, that's not rushing attempts. That's passing yards per pass. Yards per pass. That's what I'm trying to say. 3.9. Trash. Rushing. Cleveland 27-64, 2.4 yards per carry. The Raiders 21-60, 2.9 yards per carry. Not good at all. Out of those 21 carries, what was Genti? 17 carries, 50 yards. He had 17 carries. Geno threw the ball 44 times. And it's not like the game was ever really out of hand until late. I mean, and then the special teams again. Let me finish this here real quick. I'm almost done. Penalties, 8. for Cleveland for 77 yards, 13 penalties for the Raiders, 109 yards. Like I said, the offensive line, I think everybody on the offensive line had some sort of infraction, uh, whether it's a holding or an offsides. I think every one of them had a penalty called on them. Uh, Special teams, I think there was 3 or 4 penalties there as well. Defense, a couple penalties. Time of possession goes to the Raiders, 36 minutes, 26 seconds. The Browns, 23 minutes, 34 seconds. Unbelievable. But again, you look back at the special teams, 8 punts for A.J. Cole. A.J. Cole's probably our only Pro Bowler right now. I mean, you could make a case for Max, but there's some other defensive ends that are having outstanding years right now. So it's going to be hard for Max to get any kind of Pro Bowl nod. 5 tackles for loss for Max. The team had 11 total tackles for loss. Pretty. Yeah, that's actually pretty decent. Like I said, I thought the defense played well, well enough to win. But yeah, eight punts by A.J. Cole. There's a long return by the Browns, deep in the Raider territory. Tackle made by A.J. Cole. He gets penalized for tripping, so there's another 10, 15-yard, whatever that penalty is. I'm not really sure. Kickoff penalties. Daniel Carlson, I don't know what the hell has happened to this guy, but you see a clear regression over the last few years. 1 for 2 field goals. I don't remember how long the one that he missed. I think it was like 51 yards. One that he's made plenty of times in the past. So I don't know what's going on with him in the contract year. Like I said, kickoff penalties, punt penalties, punt return penalties. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Myles Garrett, he had 3 sacks. He had 4 tackles for loss. Malik Collins, 2.5 sacks. 13 total tackles for loss for the team, for the Browns. They lived in the Raiders' backfield, whether it was a run or it was a pass. They were in the Raiders' backfield. It seemed like every snap. And like I mentioned, I 50% of the blame goes to Geno. 50% of the blame does not go to Geno. But still, there was times where he had plenty of time to get rid of the ball, and he just held and held and held and got sacked. Getting sacked on 4th downs, inexcusable. It's 4th freaking down. You have to give one of your guys a chance, an opportunity. You have to. I don't know where else to go with it. I don't. I'm defeated. I know most of Raider Nation's defeated. These colors will never change. That's 100% truth. I'm spitting the truth right now. These colors will never change. These colors will never run. It will always be silver and black till the day I die. But it sucks right now. It sucks ass. So yeah. Trey Tucker, 3 catches, 28 yards, 10 targets though. At least they try to get Trey Tucker the ball, but Geno missed him multiple times overthrew him. Then Trey Tucker, I feel like there was the one play he might have ran the wrong route or didn't take a sharper angle on the one route Geno thought he was going to take. I feel like maybe that one wasn't on Geno, but I don't know for sure. I'm not a wide receiver in the NFL. I don't know. But yeah, and like there was that one sequence where I think the one drive where they tried getting the ball at least 5 times, and they had him. They had him a couple times in the end zone, and then Geno just straight up missed him. Got time, had the time to throw the ball, had the time to step into the throw, and missed him. You can't do that. The amount of money that man's making, you can't do that. What does he care? What does he care? Just flips you the bird discreetly too. That's my favorite. He kind of sticks his hand up to his chest. I'm not going to show you on here. Kind of sticks his hand up to his chest, kind of like he's a 5-year, like he's a freaking 5-year-old trying to get away with something, trying to hide something, and he flips the Raider fans the bird. It's like, really, dude? Ah, man. I'm telling you, he starts next week. I'm going to be super pissed again. Forever Raider fan here. I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to stop following this season or whatever. I'm not, that's not who I am, but I'm going to be pissed. I'll be pissed. This is my final point here. My final ramble, whatever you want to call it. Any other team in this situation, sitting at at that before the end of that game, sitting at 2-8, having the amount of quarterback problems they've had when that game was going the way it was going, I could tell you probably 90% of the teams in that situation would have sat their starter to get the backup in just to see if they can get a spark. Just see a spark. You bring Kenny Pickett in. This is the other thing that pisses me off about Pete. Now I'm getting all ramped up again. I'm getting ramped up again. Here we go. This is the other thing that pisses me off about Pete Carroll is his his compete philosophy. Compete. We're going to compete. We're going to compete. We're competing for this, competing for that. And Geno Smith's not competing for his job. Why? Why is that? Kenny Pickett came in one series the first time this season, many games ago. I don't know when Geno got hurt in the game and fumbled the snap. Yeah, that sucks. But guess what? He came in, because quarterback got hurt. You always see it. Quarterback's off to the side, taking snaps from the center. Kenny Pickett's there, taking the snaps. So yeah, dropped the first one. How many? I've watched football for a long time, and I'll tell you, it's probably a high percentage. I'm not talking like more than 50%, but there's a decent percentage of quarterbacks that go in cold. Backup quarterbacks that go in cold. They do the whole taking the snaps from the center and still go in and fumble that first snap. It happens. You have adrenaline going, you're amped up, you weren't expecting to be in there yet. Like you have a million things going through your mind. You're going in cold. You fumble the first snap, fine. And Pete Carroll made this huge thing about it. Yeah, he goes in there and he fumbles the first freaking snap. But not one word about Geno and his interceptions. Not one word about Geno taking those fourth down sacks. Not one word about Geno this, that, or the other. Not one damn word. I don't understand the blind loyalty Pete Carroll has to Geno. Does Geno Smith have photos or videos of Pete Carroll doing something, unbecoming of a gentleman? I don't know. I don't know. There has to be something like that. Was Pete Carroll caught in some sort of scandalous position? That's why Geno's still starting. That's why he won't go out there and say Geno needs to do this better. Geno needs to do that better. Geno needs to compete for his job. Maybe. Yep, maybe. I don't know. That's where my mind went. That Geno has scandalous, pictures of Pete Carroll dressed in women's clothing or having an affair with a beagle or something. I don't know. That's where my mind went right away. That's the only plausible explanation for the whole, we can't, go out there and tell like it is about Geno. But Kenny Pickett drops the first snap coming in middle of a game. Didn't start the game, coming in the middle of a game, cold, adrenaline's flowing, drops the first snap, and then all of a sudden he's the worst quarterback ever. Doesn't get another shot. Doesn't even compete for the job. Pete Carroll. It doesn't make sense. It has to be something seedy going on there. The Geno has to have something on Pete. Something. I don't know. All right. I'm done rambling about that. Cowboy Dave checking in. Dave, you're the last comment. I'm getting pissed now. I got to go to bed. Dave said, with 2 weeks left in fantasy, my team is 9-3. Right now, I'm facing the number 1 seed this week. I do have Bowers on my squad. Good luck. I don't know. Are you saying that, I think Bowers is going to have a good week. New offensive coordinator. I think you're going to see Brock Bowers taking more routes as a tight end or as a flex tight end. I don't think you're going to see Brock Bowers on the outside as much. I haven't heard anything about Michael Mayer, but I thought Ian Thomas did a good job coming in, filling in for Michael Mayer when Mayer went down with the injury. I thought Ian Thomas did a good job. He had a couple catches, 4 catches for 36 yards. Brock Bowers, 6 catches for 55 yards. Tried getting the ball a little bit more. I think they tried getting the ball to him, 8 times maybe. Brock Bowers. But anyway, yeah, I think with the new OC and coming in, I think you're going to see Brock Bowers taking more snaps as your traditional type tight end, going from there, kind of forcing defenses to cover him with a linebacker or a safety, which is kind of a mismatch. So, against the Browns here, they had him out, outside, and he's being covered by a cornerback. I don't understand it. You bring him down to the line, force force them to have a linebacker or a safety cover him. If they want to bring that cornerback in, that's good. I'd rather have my offensive lineman, on a run play, a play action run, smack that cornerback, on a run play. I guess not play action. If he goes downfield to get the cornerback, then it's uh, illegal man downfield. So, but anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm not an expert. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything. I'll try to get on later this week. Raiders versus Chargers. Kind of give a look at that. Uh, Maybe I won't be as surly. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I'm just glad to get on. I want to try to get on again tomorrow with the Mets. There's some big news there with the Mets. I haven't been able to get on with the Mets for a while. I haven't been able to get on a whole lot, period. Tired, always busy. So I apologize, Raiders fans. I know a lot of you look forward to seeing my beautiful face and hearing me ramble, stutter, stumble over my words, forget who I'm talking about. I know a lot of you like that and miss that. So I swear I try to get on as much as possible. You see, I do create streams. I just can't get on, and they just sit there and I have to delete them. But I am going to try to get on tomorrow morning, talk a little bit about the Mets for a few minutes with the Brandon Nimmo trade and my thoughts on that. I'm not going to be as surly as I am about the Raiders, but I'm not happy about it. And I haven't been able to get on with the Kings yet this season. We're a quarter away through the hockey season. The Kings are playing well. I just haven't been able to get on and talk about the Kings yet. Silver and Black Lair Kings. I'd like to do that this week as well, but Thanksgiving week, I don't know what's going to happen. So, all right, that's all I have for today. Thank you, everybody. Cowboy Dave says, I just heard about Nimmo. I was very surprised. I was surprised too. I did hear some trade rumors about Nimmo a few days ago. Some stuff was being floated out there, but to trade Nimmo for Simeon doesn't make sense to me. Simeon's older, numbers worse. Yeah, he's gold glove second baseman. I didn't think second base was our problem. Yeah, I didn't understand it. Like, if you're going to trade Nimmo, a fan favorite, supposedly a clubhouse favorite. I don't know. I've been hearing some rumors about that, recently over the last day and a half. So who knows what's going on there? What's true? What's not true? Where there's smoke, there's fire. But I was definitely surprised. It doesn't make sense, and I'll talk about that hopefully tomorrow. And Kim, happy Thanksgiving. Love you very much. I appreciate you checking the show out. Whoever. If I get on, if I don't get on, whoever checks my shows out. Whoever doesn't check my shows out, that's fine. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I'm thankful for you all. Thankful for Out of the Box Sports. You can check us out of the Box Sports, at OOT Box Sports. There on YouTube. On X, it's Box Sports ENT, I believe. I could be wrong. It's changed a couple times. Facebook, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. But yeah, check out our YouTube, like, subscribe. Box Sports, or at OOT Box Sports is the YouTube channel, and Facebook, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. I don't know how to say your name. Tats. I have my glasses on. I can see it, but it's Tatsuya. I'm going to call you Tatsu. Let's go with that. 6-7. Yeah, I hate myself so much for saying it. I hate it. Oh, is this no? Is this Yoshi? We'll see. Well, if I get on for the Mets tomorrow, we'll see if you're on tomorrow. Then I'll know who it is. Yoshinobu, my boy. All right. Thank you, everybody, for checking the show out. I appreciate it. I will talk to you all later. And happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy each other. You only get one life. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Love each other. Don't hold grudges. Unless it's, your favorite sports team, hold grudges, all that. Don't hold grudges against people that are important, people in your everyday life. That's my words of wisdom. Forgive and forget. Easier said than done, but it's It makes things a lot easier sometimes. All right. Thank you, everybody. Check us out of the box sports entertainment. My Twitter, SB underscore Lair underscore OOTBE. My YouTube channel, what is it? Bat Fry. I don't remember what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Check out of the box sports. I'll talk to you later. Just win, baby. I'm getting out of here.
Game on, game strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats with